this is the center of San Jose. Let's talk about that and why it is absolutely an interesting thing. So if you look at, this is where all the pedestrians walk, and you have a lot of people selling made in China products for cheap. And the funny thing is that you have the stores behind, and then you have all these people here selling in the middle of the road. And why is that, you might ask? Well, it is rather simple. All right, let's take a break and look at this page. This is pretty interesting. Anyway, so all the things you have, wallets, New York, all these off-brands or Nikes, and all these interesting things that you have for sale. And the reason, okay, socks, hats, everything. So why is it that these people are allowed? So every now and then, most of the people selling these are immigrants, are from Nicaragua, and they sell all these made in China things for cheap. Because, well, it is, everyone likes a bargain, and because you're able to get it for cheap and sell it for free. Now, there's a little conflict that most people, so many people, so every now and then, all of a sudden, you see all the sellers pack their bags and start running, and you're thinking, is there an earthquake? Is there a mass shooting? What is it? Why are they all running? Well, because the police would come and seize their products, and because of that, they run. And then once the police are gone, they come back. Well, this is pretty cool. That child is like, I'm scared, I'm not. Okay, you also have jewelry. Alright, he's selling it for like $2, and you're thinking that's really cheap. It doesn't say anything about the quality, it's just telling you that it's cheap. Anyway, so back to the story. The police would come, chase them, they all pack in a hurry and run in all directions, and after the police are gone, then they come back. And there are a lot of reasons why people actually complain about these street vendors selling cheap knockoff goods. The reason that if you have a store like the ones here, and you're selling the same thing, you're selling hats, and they're more expensive. And because you have a store, you have to have employees, and the law actually wants you to pay all the social securities and like the 13th month and everything else. You also have sunglasses and underwear for men. So all those things, the law says you need to pay for. And if you don't pay, you get a fine, they come and close your business, all that good stuff that the law is there to protect. And funny thing is that you have the police here sitting in their car but not really doing anything. Alright, the reason why, there is a reason for that, is that you have the local police, which is the municipal police, the police of San Jose, and they're the ones mainly doing all the chasing of the street vendors and telling them not to sell anything. And then you have the national police. They are there to secure the area, and the idea behind most of these people is because they're here to protect the tourists, because San Jose has a bad reputation for being, crime-ridden. The situation has improved a lot in the past years. More tourists are coming, but and even locals, especially locals from the rural areas, don't like coming to San Jose. But it's just one of those things where all the good things you need to buy are in San Jose. So you need to either they come really early, and then they run away because they don't want to be here late at night. So back to the street vendors. So apart from the people selling like lottery numbers and socks and all these other things, So the local police will chase them. The federal police or national police will just leave them alone because it's not our business. And the reason is that there are multiple reasons why it's just like a leave and let live. A lot of people coming from like immigrants from all these other areas find it very hard to sometimes find a job, especially legal jobs. So it can be a bit of a problem. So if they're not into illegal things and they're just selling on the streets, it's just like we just let it be. But every now and then when we get complaints from store owners who are selling legitimate products and they're saying we're paying taxes and these people sell on the streets and they're not paying taxes, why are they allowed to be on the streets when we are paying and we're not well, we can't just sell on the streets? Or something else that they used to do that the country has now put a stop to. I'll just show you in a minute. For example, the store limit ends here, and then the store they start to put whatever it is they're selling on the side of the road, and they started to put more. And before you know it, they're in the middle of the street. And the local government cracked down on that. Like, if you're selling, you need to sell within the limit of your store. So now people selling fruits, selling all these other things without the permit that the local government would ask people in the store owners. Just said, well, it's not fair. Why are we being asked to respect the rules when other people are not? You're not basically telling them to respect the same rules. So it's not fair. So every now and then they complain, but the government just seems to turn a blind eye. Another reason why the government doesn't really care too much is because there is a market for it. For example, you see all these bells being sold on the floor. Most of these are quality, but sometimes they bring those products from Nicaragua, and because the labor is cheaper in Nicaragua, so they bring it over and they're able to sell it here. And because they're not paying taxes, they're not paying the same, permit and taxes and labor costs. It's basically they're able to keep a lot of the money about the things they sell. Let me show you other things that they sell. More belts, and some of the belts are, for example, you have Gucci, Chanel, but these are fake. But then in a country where the average salary is $800, that's fine, people are happy, they'll still buy it. So the government doesn't really care because there's a market for it, and a lot of the people coming to buy here sometimes will come and buy in bulk. And when they buy in bulk, they're able to then open stores in more remote areas further from San Jose. And because they're able to do that, it just makes it, it means that basically there's an economy for it and people are making a lot of money out of it. You have stores like this one, which are like, they're like fixed on the side, and this is sanctioned by local permits. But if you don't have that, most people, immigrants, would just sell on the side of the road. There's something else you see in Costa Rica, which is anytime on the motorway, on the highway, there is traffic, you see people selling snacks, fried plantain, water, a bit of ice cream, especially very close to the beach, and they make a lot of money out of that as well, because there's an industry there. Normally you're not allowed to do that, but people still do it because, well, if government started to clamp down on that, it's going to create another problem, and that is unemployment. The unemployment rate is rather high. So if you have that level of clamp down, let me go through here. So it's a bakery. So if you come here and if the government were to clamp down on people selling on the street, it becomes a problem because the sort of unregulated market employs a lot of people that government cannot provide for. So the only option people have is to create their own business and not pay all the permits. See if we can cross the road here. So because of that, it's just the law of the land, the market. The law of the land, the market. You can't really control everything. Sometimes you have to turn a blind eye and let people trade on the street, even if it's basically illegal, but because you don't have an alternative and you don't have a lot of jobs available, especially in San Jose. By the way, half of the, I think there are about 5 million people in Costa Rica, and about more than half of that population lives in San Jose. So this is where everything happens. If you're looking for something, it doesn't exist in San Jose. It probably doesn't even exist in the country at all. This is just how interesting this is. Anyway, so that is the story of a lot of the street vendors selling cheap Chinese brands that people of course buy because they're cheap.